So it's a beautiful morning. I'm so happy to have you here and to welcome you to this broadcast. Uh, Basically, to just have a reflection. As you know, the year is coming to an end, and today is a day that a lot of people are excited about many things, and so it's important that we remind each other of what we should not forget. So I want to greet you, Mr. Boston Simfukwe. Good morning. It's good to see you. Mr. Kafuti, good morning. Chabala, good morning. I'm so happy to see you guys this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lusambo, and greetings to everyone on the broadcast.
Indeed, thank you so much. Greetings to our viewers. Sure. Yeah. The idea, guys, that we want to we want to just reflect on how 2021 has been, and our possible resolutions for 2022, and also just a quick reminder. As you know, today is the eve of the new year. Lots of people are excited, so please drive with caution. Those of you who are driving on the road, please be extra careful today. If possible, those who can afford to stay home, please let's be at home so that we continue with our lives tomorrow. People are excited tonight. They'll be drinking and things like that. So it's not a good thing to drive, especially in the night. Yeah. If possible, use less congested roads. And also, we don't want to spend our hard-earned monies on just one day, Mr.
Mm,
Boston. Don't want to spend our hard-earned monies on just one night because we have a long way to go. There's a whole
mm,
life ahead of us. There's a whole lot of things going after this day. So we want to make sure that at least we preserve our finances. Those of us who may be found in situations where we need to celebrate a few things. But uh, best of all, we want to make sure that we protect our finances. We never know what's going to happen. We may go in a lockdown. I saw a report
mhm.
yesterday that the cases are increasing quite a lot. So it's important that we don't spend so much money on celebrations. So we want to protect our monies today and also to protect our lives. So guys, I'm so very much happy to have you here. And more often than not, we get to talk about the bad things that have happened to us, such that they blind us so much that we can't even see the good thing that God has done in our lives throughout the year. It's been a rough year, yes.
Mm,
2021 has come with its own challenges. 2021 has come,
mm,
of course, with its own problems. We had COVID coming through. We had all those kind of things coming through. So it hasn't been a very good year. But there's always something, guys, that we can appreciate God for. I want to tell you something. When we were starting 2021, and probably from 2020, many of us made some goals. We hoped for some things to be changed in our lives, and things like that. So we want to just talk about a few things that we appreciate God for 2021. The things we appreciate God for that has happened to us. Aside from all the bad things that we have experienced in 2021, the COVID-19, death of our loved ones through COVID-19, but there's always something we can thank God for. And the fact that we are alive and well is also something we can thank God for. And the fact that we are alive and well today is also something we can thank God for. All the days that we look for, we know that we are alive and well today. And we can thank God for
Mr. Boston,
Yes, sir.
seems like Mr. Lusambo was offline a bit.
yes, I
He's
was I
back.
was kicked out. But let's begin with you, Mr. Kafuti. Mr. Kafuti, what do you thank God for in 2021? How has been
No, it's all.
2021 for you?
No, it's that.
I think for me, 2021 has been a year of reflection. Like you are saying, most of the times we have been focusing on what hasn't been so great in our lives. For me, as a person who is in my golden ages, like I would say, I'm no longer a youth. I'm in my 40s. When I look back, I look at so many missed opportunities. Like if we talk of school, we talk of work, where I would have been, what I would have achieved. Those things would put a lot of pressure on me. and I would think like I wasn't having a lot of impact in society and on my family. But now, when I reflect back, I ask myself to say, I think there's more to thank God for than just focusing on things that we didn't do well, things that we didn't achieve. So for me, 2021 has been a year of reflection and of gratitude, especially towards the end when I saw that there are things that I can control and there are things that are out of my control. So I've been
Yes.
telling myself that if I continue thinking of the things that I missed out, the failures, then I'll spend the rest of my life just in the past, and I'll have no energy or ability to do better. So for me, I think it's a reflection that I've taken, especially towards the end of the year, to think of other opportunities God has given me, life, family, work. Like you are saying, the COVID-19 brought a lot of uncertainties. We saw a lot of companies uh, slashing down in terms of employees. Most people are put on hold. Others were getting half pay. Others were laid off. But I work for an organization that did not do any of those things, and we need to thank God for that. In the family, of course, we lost some people, but we are still grateful for those that we still have around and ourselves being here. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's been awesome, Mr. Kavuti. Thank you so much for sharing. Mr. Kavuti, has there been a time in 2021 where things were just bad and sometimes you feel like just giving up? Have you had such kind of a moment in 2021?
Yes, those moments were a lot of them. I think God has given me the grace to always think of being impactful. And within the family, at work, I'm a person who always look forward to support people. And most of the support has to do with finances. You need to have some financial strength to help people in the family, in the society. But at low moments, because most of my investments, the little savings I had from work, would go into projects that did not materialize. You find that you're working with
Yeah.
people who do not share the same vision as yourself. So they'll squander the finances. Things were not working out. So financially, I went down, and that was creating a lot of stress for me because it robbed me of the opportunity to help others and to also move my family forward. So those were really low moments, and also the spiritual part of it. Find that maybe we are the very busy schedule at work, and sometimes you'll find that you not even manage to go to church. So we have a background of worshiping God, and that is our delight. So when we spend less time at church and with family and church members, those created a lot of stress for me as well.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so very much, Mr. Kafuti, for that. You see, 2021 has been a year of ups and downs, and has been a year that many of us felt like giving up and things like that. I remember at some point I was down. I had COVID, and
Mm.
while I was also had I had like a problem like a kidney stone that was troubling me quite a lot. I was in and out of the hospital, and that one moment when I was very much down and I was so sick, I received a phone call that one of my students had died. You know, now
Mhm.
they told me directly and that he had died of COVID, and I was having COVID at the time. I could have died that day myself, to be honest.
Yes.
I cried a lot. Mr. Peter Jones had died, and he was quite a good student. And I was also sick of COVID, and he died of COVID, and I received the news that he died of COVID. So that just broke me a lot. I think
Mhm.
I was down, and things were bad. But one thing that I've come to appreciate so much that 2021 has opened a lot of doors for me.
Yes.
I never thought could open. I've seen how growth has come my way. I've seen how relationships have been built. I met great people like yourselves. I've built meaningful relationships. I think it's been a beautiful year. So looking at the bad side of 2021, the COVID-19 and the things, God has been so helpful to all of us, especially to me. Especially, I think God has helped me so much to improve, or either economically, financially, and also in terms of building relationships. I think 2020 has been such a beautiful year. However, we want to move on to Mr. Boston. Mr. Boston, what do you tell us about 2021? What do you thank God for 2021?
Yeah, no, as for me, I want to thank you mostly for the life that I have, and
Yes.
also for the help that you have given me during the year. Of course,
Uh-huh.
even me, I have the same challenge that you mentioned, COVID, but I managed to pull through. Also, other people had lost jobs, but me, I had managed to have a job and also to sustain my family during this difficult time. And
Mhm.
also, career-wise, I've been progressing. At least there has been step forward in all what I've been
Are you
doing.
able to speak up a little bit?
Yeah, because I'm in an office, so open in an
Oh yeah.
office, so
All
up
right,
maybe
indeed.
a bit short. Yeah, so that's what I can just say. The support of my family, there have been tremendous support from my support from my family, many good things have happened. Also, the negative that I've been mentioning has been a learning point for me to reflect on how blessed I am God's life. So I've learned quite a lot of things, and also seen how God has been really working with people, also
Okay,
how
it seems we have lost Mr. Simfwe. Thank you so much, Mr. Simfwe. Let's go to Mr. Balengu. Mr. Balengu, what are you thanking God for 2021? What are you telling us? I think we lost Mr. Boston. Speaker is quite low. We can't hear him. Yes, Mr. Balengu.
Mhm.
I think we lost Mr. Boston. Your speaker is muted, Mr. Balengu. You may want to unmute. I think we lost Mr. Boston. Yeah, we lost Mr. Boston. Okay, let's go to Anna. Yes, Anna. Okay, let's go to Anna. Yes, Anna. Let's go to Anna. Yes, Anna.
Hello,
Yes, Anna. Good
are
morning.
you able to hear? Good morning, thank you. How
Yes,
is
we're able to hear you.
everyone?
We
If
are
it's
We're
fine,
not
thank
fine.
you,
clear
It's good to
on
Anna.
see you here,
Facebook,
Anna.
I don't know which one I should use.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Even here, it's okay. Sure.
Okay. I like the initiative that you have brought up, sharing what we have gone through and what we're thankful about. As for me, 2021 was a very dramatic year.
Yes.
It didn't end the way it has started. So I had started the year on a very good note with plans of how it was going to be. I had set out, but unfortunately, things did not go as I planned in the beginning. Yeah, to be specific, I was out of employment for about 9 months, which is mostly part of the whole year.
Yeah.
So that really it disturbed me quite a lot because I didn't anticipate it. And it just taught me that in life you have to expect anything. Things might just turn out, uh, things might just change at a blink of an eye. But you have to really
Mhm.
set out your plan such that anything is accommodated. Because that one really disturbed me. So had I planned for anything, I was going to I was going to just reposition myself and move on from there on. But still, I have things to still be thankful about because the way the year has ended, I'm holding a
Yes, yes.
boy. I gave birth to a son, which
Yes.
has really made me think that 2021 has had more blessings than the negatives of it. So all in all, I'm
Yes,
really
yes.
thankful for just having my life in 2021 and giving birth to a boy. And also academically, I didn't do quite well. And at the same time, I did.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Mr. Lusam?
Giving birth to a boy, you know. That has been one of the greatest joys of life. Yeah,
Mm.
congratulations, Anna. Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
please, you may
Thank
continue.
you.
Mm.
I guess let me give the floor to the next person.
I think you are talking
All
something
right. So
about
you mentioned,
academical.
Anna, that you lost your. Hmm. You're saying you lost a job. How did you manage to cope with that? Yesterday and the other day, I was very sad. I saw a post of a gentleman who killed himself because he was in debt. Now,
Yes.
this man
Yes.
killed himself not because he wasn't in employment; he was even in employment. Now, we want to be honest that every death is painful, whether somebody's taking their lives or not. It's very painful.
Mm.
But what is even more painful is the reason that makes somebody to take their own life. You see.
Mm.
So sometimes when you can't find something to thank God for, you can't really see how God has been wonderful to you, even when you've been having problems. It may lead you to depression because you don't really see the beautiful thing that other people are lacking that you may have. This man even had a
Yeah.
job and he hanged
Mm.
himself, even with a job. So we had people like you, Hannah, who lost employment, and you've been unemployed for about 9 months. How have you been
Mm.
coping? How did you manage? How did you work around that?
To be honest with you, it wasn't easy.
Yes.
It wasn't easy because it just happened. It was unplanned. I had very short notice, but my husband was very supportive. He did
Yes.
not make me feel like I was a failure or maybe I caused the whole thing that happened to me. But he was just, he supported me throughout. And also, throughout my work life, I have always
Hmm.
had that attitude of saving. So I always
Yes.
save
Mhm.
whenever I get paid. I save something. So using those same small savings that I had, I was able to pull through all that period.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think that's nice. That's nice. So we are getting also on another important aspect there of saving. Huh? And I think, Mr. Kafu, don't you agree that saving saves you a lot of stress, especially if you're in employment, you're getting even a small salary. If you can keep a 50 kwacha, even whatever small amount that can be kept in an event that you're out of employment, I think it can help a very big. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Kafut?
Yeah, thank you so much. And I really want to appreciate Anna for sharing her story, especially on the downside of how she lost employment and how she managed to pull through. Coming to the issue of saving, I want to thank God that I was brought up in a family where we lacked a lot of things, but we were brought up with a lot of values to do with integrity and patience. So from
Yes.
the onset, I've learned also to save. And it will amaze you, Mr. Lusambo, that though I'm a
Yes.
financial person professionally, I don't believe in things
Mm-hmm.
like borrowing and getting loans and what,
Uh-huh.
because I know
Uh-huh.
the interest things and what. So from the onset, I've been saving, and most of the things that I do, we do them out of the savings that we have. So little as
Uh-huh.
it may be, it helps us. Of course, we might not take gigantic steps in terms of economic progress, but we get a lot
Yes.
of joy from knowing that it has come from the little that we've saved. Then you go
Yes.
on and borrow a lot of money, and then it creates a lot of stress for you. So I want just
Yes.
to thank God that also Anna sharing a story has reinforced my beliefs in terms of savings.
Yes. Indeed. Thank you so very much. And actually, Anna is right. If somebody's in employment and then they are spending everything, even though their salary is very small that you can't save, but if you can keep even a 50 kwacha, even no matter how small an amount it is that you save, it makes a difference in an event that you have a problem. This is why we're having people killing themselves because lack of saving, and also people borrowing without a plan. People just borrow money for no reason. They just borrow because they feel like borrowing. They borrow without a plan of paying back. They borrow without any investment plan. And because of that, most of the people have been so depressed throughout 2021. They feel like 2021 has been a very, very terrible year for them because they are having problems in terms of finances, in terms of no savings, rentals are becoming a problem, and things like that. And I want to say this from Anna. I remember at some point I resigned from my employment as well. I worked for a company, and sometimes these companies they would pay you a salary, sometimes they won't pay you, sometimes they do. But what also helped is being able to save something for an emergency in terms of, for example, if you're out of employment, how are you going to pay your rentals? So if you don't have savings of that nature, it becomes very hard. You end up quarreling with your relatives and family members because you feel like they've neglected you, when actually you had an opportunity to save something that could have helped you in time of an emergency. So I think the cost of saving, it helps. It helps. Actually, I was out of employment for a very long time myself. Up until now, I've never worked anywhere from that time I resigned. But what also made a difference. Did you have any specific goals, Mr. Gava, that you put in place, things you wanted to achieve in 2021? Did you have such kind of goals when you're starting 2021? What were your goals? And our
Your
viewers,
line
you
had
can
cut at
share what
some
were your
time.
goals. What from those.
So, Mr. Sambo, your line had cut at some time. So maybe you can just refresh on what you are saying.
Yes. So we are saying that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, okay. Indeed, I think network is bad today. I may want to switch to a mobile phone. Let me see if I can leave my laptop and use my mobile phone. Yeah. So when we're starting the year, Mr. Gafu, did you have any specific goals, things you wanted to achieve?
Yes, I think on top of the agenda was completing my professional studies for
Yes.
SCCA. And the unfortunate thing was that that was also coupled with a lot of work. So it didn't materialize until I was forced to change the course of action for a temporal period and see how it goes out towards 2022. So the main go ahead was for my school finishing off. It has taken me a bit of time, but like I said at the beginning, sometimes focusing on what you've not achieved, it creates a lot of stress. So though I didn't achieve that, I still have hope that come 2021, 2021 means we'll see how God will guide us.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. But there are a lot of goals, men of us. Yeah. Men of goals. Indeed. So we don't want to give up. We don't want to give up on our goals. We want to keep pushing. While we work hard, we want to keep to be hopeful. We want to look forward to 2022 with our eager expectations. God willing, want to make resolutions that are going to be of great help, especially as we are starting 2022. We want to leave everything in the hands of God to be able to help us succeed. But however, we want to also do our part as we hope that God will be able to come through and be able to assist us. Yeah, 2021 has been a great year. Despite the challenges that we talked about earlier, I think for me it's been one of my best years of my life. I think in 2022 I got to achieve quite a lot of things in 2022. In 2021, it's been a beautiful year for me. I must be sincere. I think I've enjoyed quite a lot of wonderful things in 2022. I can't even begin to count how many things I've enjoyed. Of course, I've had my downs. You know, when I was starting 2020, I made a lot of goals before 2021. In 2019, I made a lot of goals, spiritual goals, both physical, other goals. So 2020, I did not achieve much because 2020 when that's when things were beginning to unfold for me in my life. They were beginning to unfold, and I was beginning to see how things were changing slowly. So when I reached December 2020 and I started 2021 January, I sat myself down and asked myself many questions: whether I was happy with my life, did I achieve what I wanted to achieve in 2020, what was the main hindrance for 2020. So discovering what was the problem for me in 2020 really helped me a lot to see how to do better in 2021, because I had to be honest with myself. I had to be honest with how I was living. I had to be honest with many aspects of my life. Was I happy with my life? Was I happy with the kind of relationships I had? Was I happy with the way things were going in my life? Was I okay with my performance, basically? So asking myself searching questions really helped me to just come up with other ways of doing things. And also had involved people. In our setup, usually we don't really see the value of looking for a mentor. So what we do, we want to do everything ourselves. So what also helped me was asking people that I respect what they thought of me in terms of my behavior, what they thought of me in terms of my progress. And sometimes when you ask somebody you really trust, they'll tell you the truth. Sometimes the truth is not so much sweet, because they'll say something that you think you do better, and then they say, no, this is not a good thing. And then you're just surprised. So also taking time to learn from others, taking time to learn from my mistakes, taking time to ask my best friend Dorothy on how things have been going. I think it really helped me a lot to grow, not just financially, but also emotionally, mentally. I think I've been able to attain such kind of growth in 2021. I've been able to I've been able to hold IFRIS workshops for big companies. I was privileged to be hired by a South African company to hold an IFRIS workshop at Protea Hotel. It was one of the life-changing moments. I was so happy that it's something that started with somebody seeing a Facebook post calling me that I should be a facilitator, and then from there connections were made, and I started receiving phone calls from all over the place. Now I even have the privilege of hosting radio shows. I do in-house trainings for companies. I think it's been a year that a lot of doors have been opened, and I think what also helped was being sincere that actually I wasn't doing much. I needed to improve. I had to work on my weaknesses. I had to see areas where I felt things were not so much nice. And I was happy to take criticism. I was very much happy to do that, because sometimes if we don't want other people to criticize us, we don't grow. We are going to remain in the same place where we feel things are okay when things are not so much okay. So also yeah, it's been a fantastic year. It's been a very very good year, and I'm so grateful to God for all that I have experienced in 2022, in 2021. Yeah. So I want to ask Anna. Anna, what is your encouragement to people may have lost their jobs during this hostile economic time that we are living in? What are your ways to somebody who feels like giving up? We have seen people committing suicide, and some people posting on Facebook threatening to commit suicide. What are your ways to such kind of people, Anna?
My words of encouragement to such people can just be that no situation is permanent. It could be you are doing well, even that same situation cannot be permanent, same as one who is in a crisis. So with every situation, you need to have a plan of how to get out of it in case things would go otherwise. In case the things that you have not planned for happened, you need to already have a plan underway of how you are going to move out of a crisis in case things happen in the way that you have not expected. So for me, always thinking of what would go wrong in a situation was what really helped me to cope during that same time when I was out of employment.
Mhm.
Indeed. So I wasn't sure I was able to get that, Mr. Kaput. What do you make of that? I think I've lost some
Yeah,
sound. Network is
yeah.
bad where I
So
am, I think.
I think yes, I think she was mentioning of the importance of always being prepared and always knowing that things can change. You can be in a good position today, but always know that something bad can happen. You prepare for that. And also, when you're in a bad situation, not to give up because things will not always be bad. So be encouraged that there's no situation that is permanent, but always being ready. And I also like the fact where she said that she would always ask herself what could go wrong. So that is the what if we need always to have in our minds and in our lives and asking ourselves, what if something went wrong? How prepared am I for this possible situation? I think in a nutshell, that's what I got from her.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah. So what are your possible resolutions for 2022? What do you want to do different as we go into 2022? God willing, Mr. Kaput.
2022, it will start from what I said. For me, it has been a time of reflection in 2021. I've seen the possibility that God has put in me. There are a lot of possibilities that God has put in each person. And the people that we see succeed is because they realize their possibilities or potential and they put their potential to action. So for me, and like you said, Mr. Lusambo, one of the things that you reflect on is the relationship and the help that you got from your support, your madam. Anna also mentioned in her downtime, she got a lot of support from the husband. So equally, for me, I'm drawing my strength from my wife, who even in the times when I've not done so well, you see, a lot of friends have progressed, they've become this, they've become that. But I want to thank God for having a person who understands that. Of course, mango taipira pang. I think.
Eh.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
not to take comfort. It's not to take comfort
Mm-hmm.
and say no, we don't all progress at the same time. To say then we
Mm-hmm.
relax. Of course, not being complacent. But I want to
Mm-hmm.
thank God that we've got a support system. So for me, it's taking a lot of action, building networks. Like you said, mentorship. For me, I take it upon myself to go on LinkedIn, see what other people are doing. What are my
Mm-hmm.
areas of interest? I'm looking at risk management,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at fraud investigation, and I go to people who have done things before me and learn from
Mm-hmm.
them. So it's now to put those things in action and realize my full potential.
Mm-hmm.
The network that I have to have an economic sense also. So that is my resolution, asking God to make me a better person as a family person, and also taking a lot of bold steps in terms of standing for what I believe in, being a spiritual person, and also putting in the best in what God has placed within me.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yes.
That would be nice. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaput. And how about what do you think? What do you want to do different in 2022? God willing.
2022, I want to work on my relationships. I want to build more relationships because I have seen that the friends that we have really come in handy in situations where we are not doing well. So I want to improve on that. And also, having the job back, I feel like they have just given me another opportunity to start afresh. I won't dwell so much on the things that happened that went wrong, but I have a new start,
Mm-hmm.
such that I can now reposition myself to achieve the things that I was thinking of achieving the previous year. So that's what I want to work on
Indeed.
mostly in
Indeed.
2022.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed, we want to remain hopeful. So, Mr. Mlonda says I was in a bad situation, and I think I shared it with you, where I lost huge sums of money in the midst of a trouble. I continued believing, and I'm still believing. I feel I'm going my way through. That is fantastic. So, Mr. Mlonda, at the business, as a business owner, the company was running. So he had supplied some goods to this company, which and whose management did not tell him that we are going through liquidation. So they were liquidated and they ran away with his money without paying him back millions of kwachas. So he lost out on a huge investment amount, yeah, which was, I think he had shared with me some time back. It was very sad. But we thank God that he's saying that he's growing his way through. I would have loved if Mr. Mlonda was here because the kind of money Mr. Mlonda shared when I saw a listing for the company that this company was owing, and I saw Mr. Mlonda's company there. I just felt for this man. But even when that was the case, he didn't commit suicide. He's still going his way back. And that's the spirit, Mr. Mlonda. We really appreciate it. I wish you could join us live and maybe share a few things with us how you put it. It was very hard for him. It was very hard. He lost hundreds of thousands of kwacha in just one transaction. And in our setup for to save hundreds of thousands of kwacha, it takes a long time to save and then make an investment, and then somebody just runs out with your money. It's not an easy thing. Yeah, so we don't want to think suicide when things are hard, like Mr. Mlonda did. He did not think about suicide. He kept on working hard and is saying if he feels that he's now going back his way. So we want to be hopeful. While we pray that God helps us, also want to play our part. Because the thing is that sometimes we pray that God should help us, but we don't do our part. So we have to give God something to bless, something that God can say, okay, this one is trying. Let me bless this way. And we don't want just stick to one thing. Sometimes you try this, you try that. You never know where God is going to bless you from. But the bottom line is that we have to keep working hard, working towards that which we want to achieve. So indeed, we look forward to many open doors, and also in terms of relationships. So when it comes to relationships, has there been some relationship that you feel that were worth having in 2021, Mr. Kafuti?
Yes. Number one, friends. For me, I want to thank God that at an early age, um, I
Yes,
I always look to our friends with a strategic purpose. It's not like I'm discriminative, but I always try to have
yes, yes,
friends who are going to add value to my life. I've got friends who are
yes,
younger than me, way younger than me. I've got friends who are older than me, and
yeah,
from those
yes,
friends
yes.
that I have, I can mention is a former colleague of yours, Mainza Mwene. I think you remember him
Oh
from
yeah, oh
school.
yeah.
Yes,
Very
he's
much,
quite a
very
young
much
man.
Manza Mwane.
Yes, yes, he's quite a young man, but I really appreciate the relationship I have with him. We encourage each other in spiritual issues, family matters, and also professionally. And so many of other friends that I have. I also want to appreciate my family. These jobs that we have, they go with a lot of expectations. You are called an
Yes,
accountant. People expect that you have a lot of money. But I thank God that
yes,
my family does not put pressure on me. I would ride the bicycle. They understand the money that I preside
yes.
over is not my money. It's the company's money. So over the
Mm-hmm.
years, I've worked for
Yes.
15 years, Mr. Lusambo, by God's grace, and I've never had the challenge of being disciplined for issues of
Uh-huh.
dishonesty,
Money
stealing,
problems.
fraud, and what. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because if I was to do that, I'll put my family in shame. They always understand. They always give me support. And having a partner who understands me, my wife, of course, I know a woman is supposed to look great, and I do the
Yes,
best
yes,
that I can. She appreciates what I can do, but she doesn't put pressure on me to
yes,
say expensive things and all that kind of things. We place
yes,
our priorities right: school,
yes.
work, family. So those things we discuss them, and they are helpful. So having a good network of friends within workplace, outside workplace, at the church, and also my wife. Those I want
Indeed,
to keep them and pray that God will bless them abundantly so that they continue to be a blessing to me and many other people.
indeed, indeed. Yeah, indeed. Actually, the kind of friends that we have, they have a role to play. There's a reason why the Bible says bad habits corrupts good morals. There's a reason why the Bible says what it says. It's because no matter how careful you are, you can never be too careful if you are found with wrong people. Somehow, subconsciously, whether you know it or you like it, or they will affect you either ways. Whether you say you can never be too careful when you are surrounded by wrong people. So eventually, something is going to affect you in ways you never even imagined. Yeah, so it's important that I think that's what one of my resolutions, God willing, as we go to 2022, I want to keep maintaining the same kind of good relationships I have. You know, usually we are focused on the people who are going to say good things about us, but that's not true. If there are 10 people and then there's only 2 people out of 10 who are able to appreciate what you do, don't think you're a bad person because 8 people don't appreciate you. They say bad things about you. No, sometimes the 8 people could be just self-righteous individuals who don't say anything good about anybody. So while you are
Mm.
stressing about what those 8 people are saying about you, you may forget the good thing that you have to share with others who are able to appreciate you. So focus also on people able to see the good in you, people able to build you up, because that way will help you to keep moving. Don't focus on the 8. Don't go with the majority. Sometimes the majority could be a very confused majority. So it's even
Mhm.
better to have 2 people who are good and understanding and able to correct you in ways that you need to be corrected. And like having 8 people who just say good things about you but can't correct you in ways that you need to be corrected for you to grow. So it's I think friendship also plays a very very important role in our quest to growth. So indeed, there has been a lot of wonderful, beautiful things in 2021. Actually, some of the goals that I set myself, I'd achieved them. Some of them I didn't, but God willing, I'm working towards seeing how we are going to work around 2022, because we know our lives are in the hands of God. We can't predict the future, but we can hope that God keeps on keeping us and also helping us to achieve that which we desire. So it's been a great year, and I'm so grateful to God. It's been one of my best years of my life. 2021 has brought a lot of joy, Mr. Kafut. You know,
Mhm.
there's a time, you know, I've been writing a book, and I've been writing that book because of you, Mr. Kafut.
Oh
I've been
my
writing
God.
a book because of you. You kept telling me I should do something about
Yes,
that. When you comment on
yes.
my post, you say put this in a book.
Mm.
Every
Yes,
single
sir.
time I see a comment like that, I would feel So now I'm
Mm.
writing a book. It's a book called Decisions.
Yes,
It will be done very soon, and actually, I want you to be the one to come and do the launch. It will be done very
wow.
soon. It's a
I'm
book about
humbled.
decisions, and actually,
I'm
there's a part
humbled,
where
sir.
I've explained a few things about you. I'm sure
Oh
I
my
can't explain
God.
it, but
Yes.
you are going to see the book. It's a
Oh my
wonderful book.
God.
It's a wonderful book, Mr. Gafuti. It's about
Mm.
decisions, choices, but
Yes.
also the other part I focused on in this book, I was also looking at the decisions that we are not making. Usually, when we talk
Yes.
about decisions, we only look at those which we've made. For example, in 2021, we've made so many decisions, but what are some of those decisions that you are not making? Because sometimes
Yes.
the decisions you're not making could be the one that need to push to the next level, and then not making them.
Mm.
So
Yes.
you keep making wrong decisions. You leave the good ones pending. So it's about
Yes.
decisions. It has got a chapter specifically dedicated to decisions. Another chapter specifically dedicated to mental health. There's
Yes.
a lot of chapters, nice chapters about starting from finances up to our relationships. It has got a chapter specifically linked to our subconscious part and our relationships. So
yes,
it's a book that I'm hoping, God willing, 2022 come 2022 we launch it. Yeah, it's
yes.
yeah. I've been sleeping quite late. Usually I sleep very late almost every day due to the nature of my work, but also wake up very early. Yeah, so whenever I have a chance to write something, I keep putting that knowledge in the book. So I've been writing a book. It will be done soon, and I'm so grateful, Mr. Gafu, to be honest, that I met a person like you, because sometimes we don't know. I have people that I've met. There's one of them is you, and the other one is Innocent Piri is a friend of mine from Kafue. This guy, he came. I invited him for dinner. Is a friend of mine. So one time I invited him for dinner to come to my place for dinner. I used to live with my cousin that time. So when he came through, he was doing ZIKA. So he showed me his technician certificate and he told me, see what I've done. Because initially I wanted to go and do telecoms. I
Yes.
didn't have a proper direction. I wanted to go, and so I was even on my way to the Osaka University of Africa. So I go and
Yes.
telecom. Then this guy tells me, and they said in Bemba, he said, Wakalamba, I'm for Monica Malibasa sharp. Remember if I can Zika. He said, what is Zika? I
Yes.
didn't even know what
Mm.
Zika was. So he tells me,
Mm.
Wakalamba, Zika, Maliba sharp. I think Mofa Gustave Zika. Then I said, Zika, what is Zika? He says, you don't know Zika. I said, no, I've never heard of that. He says, it's accounts. He started accountant.
Mm.
So he began to explain to me the benefits of this Zika. He explains to me a few things. And I got interested. Then he tells me how much he was getting. At that time was a technician. So he showed me
Yes.
his salary. He was getting quite a good amount that time. He was getting about
Yes.
over 7,500 kwacha at that time. It was quite a good amount of
Yes.
money. So this is a very good course. This man is not even done and is getting all this money. So then no, I didn't have money to go and pay for the same course. So it's the one that even actually helped me with the money to go and pay the first enrollment and things like that. He
Wow.
took me to ZIKA headquarters. I'd never been there. It
Mm.
was my first time. I went with this guy. They told us that we were supposed to go to ECZ in Woodlands to have my grade 12 results verified. So he took me to ECZ. I didn't even know where ECZ was. So
Yes.
he took me to ECZ in Woodlands. We did registration. We did. I submitted my results. After verification, I went back to ZIKA, applied, and then I was accepted. He told me, "Don't worry, just you see, you are going to love this, and I'm sure this course will suit you. Not telecoms."
Yes.
So I believed him. I believed him, and I started doing the first time in class. One of my lecturers, Mr. Nganda, looked at me and tells me, "You know what? When I look at you, young man, I see a
Mm.
man who's going to change the branding of Zik. I think you have a different
Wow.
branding." So I didn't even understand
Wow.
what that meant. I looked at him and said, what is this man talking about? I'm going
Yes.
to change the branding of Zika? How? you know,
Mm.
so he said something like that. I didn't understand this man. And one day he told me, the way I like the way you do things. I don't. It didn't really have a specific thing to point at, but he told me he liked the way I was doing things, and he saw a man was going to change the branding of Zika. So a young man in that, and says,
Mm.
"Oh, okay." So this man had trusted me, and even when I was starting, I didn't have money. Like I've told you, I've done my papers through self-study because I had money issues,
Mm.
I had a lot of problems and things like that. I wasn't able to pay for exam fees. Now, one of the points
Yes.
that I've never forget, Mr. Kafuti, and that's where my
Mm.
life actually changed.
Yes.
Uh, One time, I was staying with my cousin, a very good cousin of mine from Kafue, Charles. So it was time for exam fees for me to pay my exam fees. And usually when it's time to pay exam fees, students were running up and down. Now I wasn't working. I was on the streets. I would sell salala during the day, and then in the evenings I would push a wheelbarrow and things like that. And nobody
Mm.
knew I was pushing a wheelbarrow actually. Then I had a lady
Ah,
whom I used to.
that's
Yeah, I pushed a wheelbarrow like I push a wheelbarrow like literally push a wheelbarrow, and nobody knew, Mr. Afol. It was my secret
wow.
because I
Mm.
needed something to do. Then I had a lady
Mm.
that would call me to go and do her laundry on Saturdays. She would
Mm.
pay me very well. So this lady liked me, and she would call me almost every weekend. I would be at her place. I would do laundry for her like every weekend. I'm sharing this for the first time. I've never shared this with
Wow.
anybody. Like the laundry
Mm.
part, I would go over the weekend to
Mm.
this lady's place and I would do laundry. Laundry. She would
Wow.
pay me very well. She actually liked me. I don't know what she really liked about me, but she really liked me
Yes.
so much. She would pay me so well. Every time I'd go to a place, she would pay me well. You know, so I even also liked going there to just help out, the yard and
Yeah.
things like that. In the
Wow.
when I'm done, I got back to city market to do my salala business. So
Mm.
now this particular time I was in curfew, and it was the last day for paying of exam fees. Now, no, those days ZIKA would put a 1 week after you miss the deadline where you can pay your exam fees. So this
Yes.
particular time, uh, I didn't have money to pay for my exam fees, and it was the last day. Then I talked to my supervisor at work, at the man that I had worked with, because that time I got take a job where I was getting a very small amount of money in curfew, a very small amount of money. So when I
Yes.
moved out of Lusaka, I went to Kafue. Now this particular time, I talked to one of my supervisors at my place. He told me he's going to help me with the money before lunch. And banks were closing at 14 hours. This man kept
Mm.
on telling me, "No, I'll give you." He's not giving me. I go back 11 hours, 2 hours. The man is not giving me money, but he's telling me, "Don't worry, I'll give you money." Until the banks are closing at 14. The man didn't give me the money.
Mm.
That was the last day. So in the night, I went home, and
Mm.
the same night before that morning, I
Mm.
spent the night thinking, is it always going to be like for me? I always pay on the last day. I'm always stressed. I'm broke, and when you are broke, you're also frustrated. Sometimes you
Mm.
become short tempered, because you are broke. You have a lot of on your mind, and you easily become frustrated. Even a simple joke can make you upset
Yes.
because you are going just through a lot emotionally. You are broke and things like that, problems. Then the same day, I received a phone call that my mom was not feeling too well. So there was need
Yes.
for me to help out with finances. And that time my young brother also is a doctor, hadn't been graduated yet. My brother also even after I did this program. So all of us in the family were just struggling, Mr. Kafut. Things were just so bad. So now this particular night I woke up at midnight and I'm thinking, I'm so sad because many times I could wake up in the night, I'll just cry and then comfort myself, sleep. So this time I
Ah.
woke up, I'm looking at my cousin. My cousin is peacefully sleeping. Like more often than not, I woke up in the night because we were sitting on the same bed with my cousin. And I'll see this guy is always sleeping peacefully, quietly, and I'll look at this guy. Wow, just the
He has
sleep.
no
I would admire
problem.
this. This guy looks like he has no problems, you see. He has a job that is paying him very well. And then I
Yeah.
look at this guy, and this is the guy that helped me a lot. So sometimes when I have problems, I would not even tell him because I would feel bad. Like this guy is just
Mm.
there for me. He's always helping me. I reached a point where I even stopped telling him about my problems because I felt like I was just burdening this guy. I'm always saying, when Kongo Shako so much, I'll give you back. Sometimes you would give me back
Mm.
and then tell me not to pay him back. You say, says, no, it's
Yes.
fine, don't pay me. So this time I didn't want to tell him. So I thought the guy was sleeping. Kansh wasn't sleeping. He knew I didn't sleep that night. So in the
Wow.
morning,
Mm.
he gave me money. I don't know why I got the money. I didn't want to ask where I got the money because I knew he didn't get paid that time.
Mm.
At the company where we were working, we were not paid for about 3 months. So even him, we didn't have money. So all of us didn't have money. But I don't know where I got the money
Mm.
from. If he borrowed, I don't know where I got the money. Then he brought it. He gave me the money.
Mm.
So there was just a small shortfall that was needed now to top up. So when I went for work in the morning, this supervisor of mine was kept on pushing me around. I'll give you, is not giving me. Until a friend of mine at work, there was make a fine wait. He had banked some money at his home, so he got a bicycle and he quickly cycled back at his place. He came back
Yes.
around 13. He brought me the balance that I should go and pay for my exam fees. Now it was the exact amount of money, and it was 1350 something, whatever. And the banks
Mm.
were closing at 14 hours. So I needed a taxi to get to the bank. So I didn't have money for the cab now. I was late. And that was the fine there.
Mm.
So what do I do? I rush to the bank. Fortunately, I found a cab along the road, took me to the bank. I was just getting to Zanaco, the banks were closing. So I get there, the guy tells me you can't go in. We are closed.
Mm.
Now I begin to think, I've not slept the whole night. I was thinking about exam fees, and I've struggled so much to get this money.
Mm.
Then I'm here to pay the exam fee, and then the guy says they have closed the bank. And it is true, it is 14 hours.
Yes.
So what do I do? Mr. Kaputi, I had to kneel down in front of the bank. pleading with the guard, please let me because there were still some people inside, but they've locked out the
Yes.
doors outside.
Yes.
So I knelt down. Please, I'm supposed to pay for my exam. This is the last day. I need to write this exam. I can't miss it. It's going to
Mm.
change my life. I knelt down, and this
Yeah.
man tells me, "No, Bwerela, Sunga, we couldn't go bank, it's Kuchan." So there's a police officer who came. They thought I was a problem. So the police officer came and asked, what is this guy doing here? Why are you kneeling
Mm.
down? I said, no, I'm just begging. I'm late. I'm late, but I need to pay for my exam fees. Please help me. So this police
Mm.
officer tells me to, okay, stand up. I waited outside. He went inside. I don't know whether he talked to in the bank. Then they allowed me to
Mm.
go inside. That's how I paid for my
Wow.
exam fees. So when I paid for my exam fees, I went outside. I looked at this guard and I just broke down. I cried.
Mm.
I felt bad. I felt useless in every way. Like, everything is just not working, Mr. Kaput.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
when
Yes.
there's a problem, everything, nothing was working. Like even
Yes.
food that would taste at that time of my life, I couldn't feel the taste of
Mm.
food. You know, you have some family members who are seeing a lot of, you know, when you are broke, even family members can just wake up and say you're a thief because you know you don't have anything. They can accuse you. They can say a problem. They can say you don't have
Mm.
respect. They can say whatever they
Yeah.
like because you're nothing. So you find that everything at
Yes.
that point was not happening for me. Nothing was making sense. You know, nothing was working at all. So that night, I went back home. I was so sad. I went back for work. My boss noticed I was sad, and then I
Mm.
knocked off that I knocked off that I didn't work the whole day. I went back home. So I go take a piece of paper. I have a
Mm.
notebook. I started writing things I
Yes.
wanted to achieve. Yeah, I wrote things. I wrote things down. I cried a lot actually that day. So I even left Kafue. I went back to Lusaka. Then I was just getting home. My mother
Mm.
collapsed when she saw me. She was
Mm.
actually she used to have BP also because of too many problems. You know, I'm just
Yes.
getting home. My mom faints.
Mm.
Now I had completely nothing in my pocket. Zero ngwe, Mr. Kafut. Then my mother
Mm.
collapses. And I'm looking at people. People have seen that the son has come and the mother has collapsed, and there's
Mm.
no money to get up to rush the clinic. So what do? I get a phone. I called my wife. Then was my friend. She's the one I called. Said we were just
Yes.
friends at that time. So I called her. Say,
Yes.
please, Dorothy, I need help. I'm asking for a 50 kwacha. I'll give you back. She tells me
Mm.
50 kwacha for what? So I didn't want to lie. I just said, look, my mom has collapsed. I need to get a taxi so that we can actually clinic. She
Mm.
says, okay. So she sent for me a 150. That's how I took my
Mm.
mom to clinic and things like that. So it was a very bad day for me. Then I was looking at, where your mom is sick, you can't even afford a cab. I feel so
Mm.
useless. Like, what is wrong with me? Everything is
Mm.
just bad. Nothing is working
Yes.
out. So that piece of paper I got that day, and I started writing things down, things I wanted to do. I didn't even have shoes. One of my friends to my cousin had given me a pair of shoe that I should fix it. He had used it, so he told me you can just change it up, and it was a leather shoe, so you can be wearing it.
And I remember. No, no,
It
no,
was a
no.
very sad
Wow.
life. And one
Mm.
thing I love about how I've lived through that hard all those
Yes.
hard times, that I never let other people be affected by my problems. I never let them know what I
Yes.
was going through. I
Yes.
did not push the burden to someone else because I accepted it was my job to change my
Yes.
life. I worked
Mm.
hard towards something. I'm sure God was going to have something to bless.
Yes.
So I read the scripture in Justice, which should be 9, 5, and 6. Should be it is 11 or 10, 9, 5, and 6, where it says, sow your seed in the morning and don't let your hand rest until the evenings.
Wow.
For you do not know which one will have success, whether this or that or
Mm.
both will do well. So I
Wow.
read that scripture and I said, fine. So I was now doing Salahula. Then I started doing my tuition business. I
Yes.
would teach people. I would teach people for free. I wasn't charging when I started my tuition business. I was
When
doing
did
it
this
for
start?
free, Mr. Gaf. I started in 20 when I just started doing ZIKA in 2017. So when I
Yes.
started doing I would teach my friends. Now there's a lady in 2018 who was my classmate. She told me, you know what, Shadrik, I like the way you explain things, but I think I would like to pay you so that you can teach me tax. And I was scared.
Mm.
How do I get some money? I'm just I will pay you, teach me
Yes.
tax. I said, no, don't pay me. She said, no, I want to pay you. So she insisted. And because I was scared, I thought, okay, just give me 500 kwacha. So she gave me 500
Mm.
kwacha and I taught her calculation. And she got very good marks. She passed.
Wow.
So
Yes.
I would do all this time, I would do tuitions for free. So people would call me, I teach them, maybe they give you like a 20 kwacha, 50 kwacha. Sometimes they'll just buy you for your lunch. And then I was
Mm.
okay with that at the moment because I knew I still needed to work. So I would sell Salaula. I had a stand in City Market. So whenever I left school, I would quickly have to City Market. I sell my school bags, I would sell Salaula. Then I kept on my day routine, teaching people just like that. Until
Yes.
eventually, things changed. Now, how things changed?
Yes.
It was on a Facebook post that I made.
Okay.
Just one Facebook
Mm.
post, Mr. changed everything. This
Yes.
is why I appreciate uh, Facebook so much because I think for me, Facebook has changed my life too much. Like
Yes.
too much. I think God had used Facebook, different people. When all things were happening, Mr. Gafuti, I said because at some point I'd borrowed Karoba from some woman. I
Yes.
borrowed about a 3,000, and she told me I was supposed to pay 50% interest, to which was 4,500.
Mm.
That 4,500 was hard for me to pay. So what happened? I would even dream this woman that she has come in my dreams and about to hit me with a pig, because I'm broke. So I would start
Yes.
dreaming that this woman is about to kill
Wow.
me in the night. It was a very hard life. So when you owe somebody sometimes and don't have money to pay back, you begin to dream. That's why you can even say Nindoshi because you don't have where to get the money and you begin to have dreams about them. You think Nindoshi.
Yes.
You see, so I would dream this woman has come and she's about to kill me, she's about to hit me, and I would scream, I would wake up sometimes, I would just scream. Oh, like I would scream, I
Mm.
have rentals coming through. I have this woman I'm supposed to
Yes.
pay 4 5, and she's calling me, Shadrik, don't disappoint me. I need to go to Nakonde. So it was hard. Mr. Gafut, it was
Wow.
hard. It was very
Wow.
hard.
Wow.
So
Mm.
eventually things were tilting. I kept pushing, kept pushing. So one time, that time, my wife were just friends, and she was a very good friend of mine. So she told me,
Yes.
you know what, Shadrik, I think you have a gift. I say, what
Yes.
gift? You know how to explain things. Why don't you make money out
Mm.
of this? Just, people
Yes.
call you for free. You go and teach them. You go to their homes. Why don't you charge? I said,
Mm.
charging? No, I wouldn't charge anybody. I don't want to charge people. And also, I was also shy in terms of doing tuitions. I was thinking, I'm at tuitions. She tells me,
Mm.
just try. You can make money. And my mother also told me, as a kid, because I could teach my neighbors, you know, as a kid, I would teach my neighbors how to read. My mother would tell me, you should be a lecturer you when you grow up. I say, lecturer, what is that? I can't be a lecturer. I
Mm.
said, no, you have a gift. You know how to explain things. You can explain things in ways that are just understandable. You tell nice stories. So I was saying, oh, okay. And then when my wife that time when we were just friends, she tells me, okay, you can just try making a post on Facebook. I refused. So she
Yes.
got a phone and she recorded me. She
Yes.
recorded me for the first time and posted. Mr. Kavata, I was shocked. We had 40,000 views on that small video.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
40,000
Mm.
views for the first time in my entire life. I was shocked. And then I
Wow.
received phone calls from different people calling me that I should be teaching them. That's how come I even received the phone call from that radio station where I do some business
Yes.
show. They
Yes.
called me. Then I received a phone call from some man who was a CFO at a company that he wanted someone to help out with iFreeze workshop. So that's how I
Wow.
went there. Um, I made a bit of some money. Then I received several other calls. And I was just surprised that seriously, just a Facebook post, all these things have opened. And then I looked at this
Yes.
girl and said, what? You knew that it would work, right? She said, I knew that you have a gift. Anybody would hire you because you can
Yes.
do a good job. So we went to register a company, and that's how we even started doing consultancy, in-house trainings for companies, workshops, and eventually I got a contract with a South African company to go and do a workshop for them, which was very
Yes.
much yeah, a very good opportunity for me to start, having a nice CV. So things started opening up. Then I said, okay, fine, let me start charging. That's
Eh.
how I started charging people now for tuition. So
Yes.
people when I started charging, surprisingly, Mr. Gafu, when I was doing it for free, I didn't have a lot
Mm.
of people. I had a few people. But
Yes.
when I started charging the first semester, I had 64 students.
Ah.
First semester. 64
Wow.
students. And I was saying, I couldn't believe it was me, Mr. Kaput. My life changed. I was busy. And for the first time, I was able to have a 50,000 of my own.
Yes.
Now, the time I got that 50,000 cash, I could have died that day, Mr. Kaput. I could have died. I
Yes.
didn't believe it was my money. Where you've never had anything like that in your life. I was going to the bank. I owe I owe a t-shirt and a big jacket. So I put a bag in front of me, like Navika bag pantan shop. Then I closed the jumper, the buttons.
Oh my God.
I was
Yes.
sweating. That time I didn't even have a car, so I was on a bus and I was sweating. When I dropped off the bus somewhere there in Mumba, I was rushing to Zanago. Thinking people know I have 50,000. My heart was racing. I even had a panic attack. I could have died.
Wow.
I go to the bank, Nishinimpi Vav sweated. I couldn't even talk proper. So the lady at the bank looks at me and tells me, "You are running?" I said, "Yeah, yeah."
Yes.
She told me there's a dispenser, drink some water. So I get water, drink a bit of some water, cool
Yes.
off. Then I opened up the jacket and the jumper, zipped, then got the money. There was a plastic bag here, black bag. Then there was a shirt. Oh, Mr. Kafut, it was
Kwasherekea kubika
it was
mumufito.
very,
Kwasherekea
yes,
kubika
it was
mumufito muri 50,000.
it was hard. Having a 50,000 for the first time, I could have died. I didn't believe it. And
Yes.
and you and Nankane, the way it is. Hi, how are you? Sure, thank you. I could have died that day, Mr. Kafut. So when I got the
Yes.
bank, I deposited the money in the bank. Na mfako na mwili kwa tuwaanguka kona tu. I couldn't sleep that night because MPI students were paying me and things like that. The money was just coming from everywhere. So
Yes.
number when somebody put it again at maybe people know they have this money. When you are broke, even your mentality sometimes is affected somehow.
Yes.
Even the things you admire or be tundu tu achabe chabe fotokola kumbwa. I didn't have those things of maybe wanting to have a car, like buying a nice car for myself. I didn't have such kind of
Yes.
things in my mind because I know they were out of my league. I would admire things like a
Yes.
nice shoe. Those were my things.
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
dreams, yambi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but so when I was talking to my wife about it, and then she
Yes.
tells me, just calm down. You're going to have a lot of money more than this. Okay, for her,
Wow.
as she was used to getting good money, she got a job when
Yes.
she was still in school. So for her, she was
Yes.
exposed already to having money. For me, I wasn't.
Yes.
She told me, just calm down. You're going to have a lot. So it was also a process of not getting used to having good monies. Where you've been having with my 5 penny, that as the biggest amount, ZIKA 1 penny, 2 penny,
Yes.
to having 50,000, 100,000, things are just surprised. I looked as if I was sick. I looked as if I was about to die. Like I was about to die. And so now when people meet me, they tell me, "You were watching chef, so what are you eating?" I
Mm.
say, "I'm still eating the same the same food I was eating.
Mm.
Only that this time I'm
Wow. Wow.
happy." This time
Wow.
I'm happy. So things have changed. And I used to
Yes.
have gases, a lot of gases. Nama houses.
Yes.
All those things have disappeared,
Mm.
Mr. Gafut. Feared, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Some of these things, I think, some of these problems we have just stress. Fifma houses,
Yes.
fifma gases. When you take out of stress and begin to be positive about life, things work. I
Yeah.
think when I changed mindset, I became positive. I was willing to learn from other people. I was also willing to change the kind of friendships I had. Sometimes, some friendship would just pull you back. I think things
Yes.
change. I'm not saying I'm rich, but I'm saying that at least I'm grateful to God that things are not like the way they used to be. You
Yes.
know, you find that if at a family level, relatives would be having a function, they wouldn't involve you. You won't get to know that the day your cousin is getting married, that no, there's a wedding, or maybe a day before they say, "No, come and help with serving drinks." Uh, you didn't know all along. You didn't know about the arrangements. Just involve you. Tomorrow is the wedding. Then they tell the night before, "No, you should come and help serving the drinks, serving the guests." So they
Wow.
wouldn't involve you. Yeah, but God has always helping us. helping us.
Yes.
As long as we remain faithful to ourselves and to others and to God, we work towards achieving that which we desire. I think life changes.
Yes.
But God is faithful. This is why even when 2022 came, COVID came, things were hard. I still remain grateful that it's been a beautiful year, guys. Finding something suicidal thoughts because you hope for something, you look forward to achieving something, is also another way of improving your life. Because sometimes when you are over borrowing, you may end up be stressed. So I think I've also avoided borrowing too much, Mr. Kafuta. I no longer get impi and shukunajeko Kongola because I realized that I think borrow also can bring you down. Yeah, and it
Yes.
can also make you hate people and destroy friendships, even family members.
Yes.
So sometimes when you are suffering and you have a relative who's doing fine, you think that they are stingy. Can't you don't know even them? They have a lot of
Mhm.
problems. So
Yes.
sometimes you end up judging your relatives and family members because of your own problems. So being able to see that actually maybe even them they're having problems more than I am having, it is my job to change my life. It is my job
Yes.
to be able to do something about my life and work hard. You maintain good relationship. I think I am one person that has a very wonderful relationship with my relatives and family members. I
Yes.
never took it upon any of my relatives that no pay for me my school fees. No, you did don't do this for me. I
Mhm.
just said this is my life. I want to change. Let me work hard on my own. God will see me through. And I understood if anybody didn't want to assist, I didn't care. I said it's fine. They have problems that I may
Mhm.
not know about because it's not their
Yes.
job to. If my father died and I remained suffering, so I wouldn't blame anybody who's not my dad that why didn't you help me? No, I think I wouldn't do that. It's unfair. I didn't do that.
Wow.
So I accepted my
Wow.
life that my father died. He left us when we were quite young. Some of us never
Mhm.
enjoyed our parents, what they worked for because we were quite young. So
Yes.
I saw my mother struggled even to just raise my young brother and pay school fees for my young brother up to the time where he even went to do his medicine. It was very hard, even for mom. She worked so hard. So I looked at mom and I said, is this woman going to be suffering all her life like this?
Yes.
So I think also that was also something that was pushing me inside. I think let me be in a position where even though I cannot buy an aeroplane for my mother, but at least I can afford to take her to the clinic
Yes.
without having to go anywhere to borrow money. So that was my goal, just to be able to afford these basic things. Just if my mom was not okay, I go to the clinic and just pay things without problems. I think
Yes.
that was the things I was looking forward to, and then God helped in ways I never imagined, and things have worked, Mr. So it's been a wonderful year, ups and downs, but overall, I think I'm grateful for life and for the kind of life I have now. I'm so happy and grateful, Mr. It's been awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story, and for me, tears were. It's tearful story. You know, when people see you succeed and they don't know what you're going through, they will think
Yes.
like it has been an easy journey. But for
Yes.
me, I think these stories are worth sharing in schools,
Mm,
in the churches. But I think
mm,
what lacks mostly in our culture in Zambia is mostly people do not take interest in sharing information or going after
yes.
information.
Yes.
Yeah, you find that someone is going through a problem which someone has gone through, and they will look for solutions which someone already has solutions for. But such
Mm,
stories, if they are shared, they'll help a lot of people. And for me,
yeah.
I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to know you even in person, I want to also appreciate God for giving me an opportunity to know, like I said, people who can change your life, people who can make a difference in your life. So it's really amazing. And I'm praying to God that there are things that I cannot share on this live post, but I'm sure we'll continue talking
Yeah.
when we see how 2022 unfolds. So that, like I said, realizing the full potential.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
it's amazing. Yes, sir.
Indeed. So thank you so much, Mr. Kaputi. We wish you the best. Please, if possible, stay at home. Don't drive in the night. People will be excited tonight. I want to protect our monies.
Yes. I hope this
Yeah.
recording. I hope you recorded this. It's or even on your Facebook page, so that
Yes.
someone can go and get to have some insights and the discussions that we had. Anna shared a lot of what she's gone through, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Yui's story, and what you shared.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone out
Mm-hmm.
there who's going through a similar situation and they are almost giving up.
Indeed.
But when they go through this, like when you're talking about the shoes, I remember,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I remember at one time I was going home, not knowing that the heel had already come out. There was no heel on the shoe. You're having some clothes, you have to depend on someone giving you after they have used those clothes. Having one meal a day, going in the bush to collect firewood, not knowing it.
Indeed.
That's why, Mr. Lusamo, I find that for me as a person, it's easy for me to take steps like walking. People would say, for someone who drives, if they walk, other people even stay home to say, I have no problem to walk to get a taxi. Because when I look back, what I've gone through in my childhood,
Yeah.
there are things which are worse. Going to do piecework for people in the farms, even when I had not take those days, some years back, we'll still go and do piecework.
Mm-hmm.
Going in the bush to cut firewood,
Mm-hmm.
making gardens, but when people see you in the office or
Mm-hmm.
they see you driving, you're with your wife, they'll think like, maybe back my yard.
Everything is okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But
Mm-hmm.
when they sit down with
They
you
think
and
everything is okay.
yes, but if they ask you, you start to share, then they'll say, life is not easy. Mr. Lusambo, where I'm seated
Mm.
right now, the office I am, I look over, you've been to our office, just direct opposite
Yes, yes.
ZNBC. There's a road. It was a one street
Mm.
before then. But those days, I remember I would walk on this same road to go and do piecework. Okay, I would
Mm.
walk all the way from UTH to Avondale every day. And my mother would come and look at me. She would cry. She would look at the grades that I had at grade 12. Of course, when I graduated high school, I was supposed to do economics at the University of Zambia. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's not my
Mm.
responsibility to blame anyone. But my mother didn't have the funds to keep me at the university. I had to change course.
Mm.
I had to start doing piecework, walking all the way from Avondale. No food,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping outside and stuff like that. So today, when I sit in the office and I see cars passing, for me, it's a testimony because this is the same street I used to walk for piecework. But
Mm-hmm.
today, I'm seated in an office and God is showing me to say, He's able to do things which we cannot imagine.
Yes,
But
indeed.
for
Mm-hmm.
many people, when they see people who are doing well, or those of us who are trying to do something, without getting the story of where we come from, they think that all has been okay. But there's been a lot of struggle. So for me, your
Mm.
story reflects a lot of what I've gone through as a person, and I get encouraged. And other people have gone through a lot. If you talk about people like the radical entrepreneur, it's the same
Yes.
thing. You
Mm.
talk about how to walk many distances. You talk about the
Mm.
radical farmer. A lot of youths are
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of stuff, but many other youths are suffering because they do not go out there and look for information. And
Yes.
some people, even on Facebook, others don't get. They just want to be entertained by things, and then quickly want to succeed. But
Mm.
it's a journey. So for me,
Yes,
I
it's a
really
journey.
appreciate God for what you shared. And yes, my situation has been one of those bad things, but not as bad as yours or other people. So I don't have an excuse not to succeed.
Indeed. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaputi. I really appreciate. It's been wonderful to have you here. We are going to have to end here for today. We continue with our, our work. Come next year. Oh, we have somebody joining us, Mr. Nason Kasanda. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
We are okay. Thank you, Mr. Kasanda.
Uh,
Welcome. As we wind up.
oh,
Yes, Mr. Kasanda.
winding
What do you
up.
have for us? What do you
I've
have for us,
missed.
Mr. Kasanda?
Sorry?
What do you have for us this morning?
I just joined the link just to catch up to see what's going on. Only to find that you are leaving.
Yeah, we are. We've been here for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Uh,
So sorry, Mr. Kasanda. We continue with our programs next year.
yeah, it's a long wait.
It's a long way. Next year, so next year we'll meet again. And thank you so very much. Please be alert to my book is coming out next year, God willing. A book named Decisions. It's coming out next year, where a lot of things have been shared. Thank you so much, guys,
So,
for being with me.
Mr. Lusambo, so before you go, I just want
Yes, yes.
to re-emphasize on the need of networking. I think you are already doing that, and the need for mentorship.
Yes, yes.
I know in Zambia people
Yes.
don't like taking responsibility of going after the men. They want people to mentor them by recognizing their potential. But I
Yes.
would really love for you to replicate what you have done
Uh-huh.
with other people. You identify some people even from your community, from school, from wherever, and those people are already happening.
Uh-huh.
Find some way of having some mentorship in schools, in the churches, and what a lot of lives will be changed. Yes.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that would be nice. I think that would be another way we're going to I think that's a route to take. God willing, 2022. I think that's a very good way, Mr. Gavu, to work towards that. Definitely. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your day. We'll see you next year. Mr. Gavu, we are still talking. So,
Yes,
guys,
yes, yes,
we're
yes.
gonna see you next year. As for now, it's bye bye from me.
Thank you. God